Dear friends, today we have a special guest. It's with great pleasure that I'm telling Pastor Laudz Nicolas, welcome to Tele Lumiere. And, Pastor Nicolas, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, first I want to say thank you so much for having me here today. I'm glad to be on Tele Lumiere. And as you know, I'm a pastor. I live right here in Brockton. When I finished Bible school, I set up in Boston. This is where I pastor a church. So a few years back, when I moved there to Brockton, I thought that the commute back and forth was really going to be too much. So I didn't think I would stay in Brockton so long. But I have to say that I have fallen in love with the city. I have fallen in love with the people. It's so great around here, the diverse communities that are in Brockton. So here I am, and today I'm with you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. Tell me, I know you are the CEO and founder of Laudz Nicolas Ministries International. You also are the CEO at International Worship Center of Healing and Deliverance.
Yes.
You're also a senior pastor at New Global Harvest Church.
Yes.
President of SHOP.
Yes.
A graduate of Northeastern University.
Mm-hmm.
High school, you went to Collège Saint-Louis de Boudon.
De Boudon in Haiti.
And also, you started earlier with studying in a seminary, Newburgh Theological Seminary and College of the Bible.
Yes.
Basically.
Oh, that sounds like so much.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Sometimes I like to know what makes you who you are today. Did Pastor Nicolas grow up in a very religious family?
My family they were Catholic, so I grew up in a Catholic family where we would go to church every Sunday. In Haiti, when we live in Pétionville, we also go to Église Saint-Pierre, and when we live, my family moved to La Lue, and we went to Sacré-Cœur at Turgeau in Haiti. And, in the latest years, my father became a charismatic, because at the time, the Catholics started that movement, the charismatic movement.
Yes.
And my father became a charismatic, very spiritual man, and he started taking me on, because then they would have meetings in the evenings, prayer meetings in the evenings. So he used to take me with him every time. So yes, my family, if you don't go to church, you were like...
At the time, did you enjoy it, or you had to go because your family wanted you to go?
Mostly on the Sundays, going to Mass, I had to go. Because if you don't go, you'll be in big trouble. Yeah. So, I had to go. But in the prayer meetings, it was different. Because the people will clap, they will pray. It was not the same lengthy...
You felt it was an entertainment.
Exactly. And especially that after I would go, on the way back home, we would stop at Kentucky and get some chicken. So
that's a good reason to go.
Exactly. So I enjoy going. I enjoy the atmosphere because it was more lively than going to church on Sundays. Mm-hmm. And that's what I have to say.
But around that time, how old were you when they were taking you to these things?
I must have been in my teens, early teens.
Early
yes.
teens.
Mm-hmm.
So what about when you started secondary school? Did you keep going to church the same way? Or
yes.
Did your parents did they have to push you to go?
We had no choice because I went to a Catholic school. I went to Collège Saint-Louis de Boudon, which is also the nuns were there, so we had to. Yes, very disciplined. So we still had to go to all the masses and everything else that that they do. It was still we had to have religion classes, so it was always still around me.
But when you went to church at that early age. Did you feel that you were part of what's going on, or for you, you were just, it was an entertainment, it was something you had to do?
You know, that's a good idea, because from as far as I remember, not that I really enjoy all the time that I would have been in the mass. Of course, as children we would play, we would not be listening to the prayers, and then, you know, they would have to redirect us that you're in church. But I think I've always loved Jesus. I've always felt that there is a relationship in my heart with Jesus, which was different than, you know, the whole, you know, thing that we would do.
But at one point, you left Haiti.
Yes.
You came to the United States, probably you were living with a brother, or I don't know, but you were living with a family member. Did you keep going to church? How was it? How was that experience for you, leaving your family in Haiti and coming here for another life?
You know, I tell people all the time that when I found out that I was leaving Haiti, and it's like you knew I was coming to be with my brother. I was leaving my mother and my father in Haiti, and I was coming here to study, and I was going to live with my brother. I thought that was the freedom, because, you know, in Haiti, they keep you so tight, you can't look outside, can't look at the neighbors. So I was like, you know what, this is what freedom is going to be for me. I'm going to come here, and it's my brother. But to my surprise, my brother was worse than my parents. He was even stricter.
Whoa.
So I continued to only go to church on Sunday. I became like, you know, the Sunday person or the wedding person at church, because I wanted to experience other things. You know, when you keep somebody that they don't know anything, we're not allowed to do anything. We're not allowed to go dancing. We're not, I mean, you could not even dance in the house. So strict. So strict. We're not allowed to do anything. So you come here to the U.S. and then here you are. You go to school by yourself. You know, most of the time you do things on your own. So that I would only go to church on Sundays, because the whole mentality of church
is a routine.
Yes, it stayed with me. So I would only go to church on Sunday, and then, you know, just to say, oh, you know what, I've gone to church, God, so I'm good here.
But you know, when you go to school here, I mean, there is something they call peer pressure. You exposed to another environment.
Definitely.
That didn't have any impact on you?
Oh yes, because then I started going to clubs. I wanted to know what the clubs look like. I wanted to, I mean, I enjoy going to the movies. I would go to a movie theater, and I could watch even 2-3 movies in one Saturday, because I was never able to do all these things. So it's like things were like opening up. But in all of it, you know, going to bar, but in all of it, on Sunday, I would still go to church and say, God, okay, I know I've been here and I've been there, but
forgive me, I'm good. I'm still good.
I'm in church, and I used to attend Sacred Heart in Wasendale, and I'll be like, okay, I'm in church.
But you were in New York before?
No, I came straight to Massachusetts.
But tell me, at one point you felt there is a, because usually you go to study, you go to Northeastern. What did you study?
Paralegal studies.
Paralegal. So at one point, did you feel that calling? You become more serious about serving God? Yes.
You know, it was a long time coming for me, I have to say. That because I liked the way that I was a Catholic, that I could do anything else. I could, you know, go out to the movies. I could go if Tabu Combo or something was in town. I could.
I bet you were a good dancer too.
I hope I was. So, you know, I enjoyed the fact that I could do all of these things, but then I could still go to church on Sunday, and there was no accountability. The accountability was myself. So there was nobody to say, okay, you know, whatever. You know, when you go to church, you go to mass, nobody's talking to you. Just sit down and you listen. So to me, it's like, okay, I get to do all of these things, and I can still go to church on Sunday and feel good about myself. I could still go on Good Friday and pray and ask for forgiveness and feel good about, okay, I've done my duty to God. Now I'm going to go do my duty to myself.
To please myself. Yeah.
Exactly.
But by the way, at one point, did you get married or your situation change?
Yes, definitely. It was late in my life that I realized that, I have been through so much. And
when you say so much?
It's just that in the sense that failed relationships, things that happen to people in life.
Yeah.
But I think that in a way, the way that I was brought up did not prepare me for those things because I was very sheltered when I was growing up. So in a way, it's like I tell people you need to expose your kids to some stuff so that when they get to be at an age, they're not surprised. Mm-hmm. So I was not equipped to handle life. Okay. I was completely unequipped to handle life. So that's a lot of things that I've gone through in my life. It's because I didn't know how to handle things, and I kept making wrong decision after wrong decisions.
It's a learning process.
Exactly. It was a long learning process. But I think that at the end, I was at a time that was really stressful for me in my life, and somebody introduced me to a pastor. And let me say this, because to me, when I was growing up, people that would be Pentecostal, I thought that for you to be a Pentecostal, you had to be poor. You had to always dress in those white, dresses, and your head has to always be covered. That was my perception of, being anything than being a Catholic. Because I'm like, oh, no. Sandals, poor.
Back in the 80s, that was a classy religion.
Exactly.
So that's like, a religion tête mariée.
Exactly. That's a moon tête mariée, exactly. So I was like, no, I could never do this, right? Yeah. I could never do this. But then, and God started talking to me about that there's a calling upon your life, and that God is calling you to something greater, and that you can help people, because even with your experiences, there's something that you can do. And that's when it started to dawn on me that, there is a God. There is something greater than us. And there is a calling upon my life to do something for God.
When you went to see the pastor, mm-hmm. were you at a difficult time in your life that you were depressed, you were deceived, or you felt that things were not working out for you?
I don't think that at the time that I saw the pastor that I was in that difficult moment. I think that I have been in a more difficult moment than this.
Okay.
I was just in a stage of, I would say, disillusion. It's like, what's there for me to do? It's like, okay, I'm on this earth. I've done all these things. So
you wanted to know what your mission is.
What do I do? How do I make it see the clear vision of where am I going? What do I do with my life? Mm-hmm. Like, if I died, what are they going to say about me? That's at the point that I was. That, okay, so what are they going to say? Because, sometimes people are gone. Nobody even notice that they are gone because there's nothing that happened in their lives. They have never touched anybody's lives. So I was at that point, and I'm like, there's got to be more to this than just, you wake up every day, you go to work, you come back. There's no purpose. There's got to be something more in this life. That's at the time. And of course, it was at the exact time mm-hmm. that I met that pastor.
And that meeting practically changed your life.
Definitely. It's like it was at the appointed time, and that meeting changed my life. It's like, okay, I'm not really 100% sure that what you're telling me is what it is, because at the time I was not really used to these things. So I'm like, okay, I'm not sure if what the pastor is telling me, this is what it's supposed to be, but I was willing to investigate. Mm-hmm. And after I met with the pastor, I took the Bible, I started studying the Bible on my own, trying to look and see what is in there. And I found it. And here I am today.
So, but you you said you found it now, but anyway, it has to be done gradually.
Yes, of course. Of course. It was over a period of time.
So at one point you become maybe a fervent servant of God, and then you decide maybe to become more involved.
Yes.
And did you? I mean, how did you become a pastor?
Okay, so I started studying the Bible on my own. I was attending a church. I joined into the training for ministers. I was training to be a minister at the church. And then after that, I'm like, okay, so I'm still hungry. I still want to know more. Mm-hmm. I took some classes at Gordon Conwell. I took some classes there. And then after that, it was so much going to work, going to school. So I decided to maybe check out online and see if I would get...
Did you have kids at the time? Was it a challenge?
Oh, definitely.
I'm not sure. Did your husband oppose to it, or there wasn't any husband at the time in the picture?
So, my husband was not opposed to it because he was also a Christian. So he was not opposed to it at all. What is the challenge of having to go 8 hours to work, then, go to school, and you have... kids and homework to do. It's like if you go to school and you don't have to do homework, then hey, you'll be okay. But when you get home, you still have to get kids ready for tomorrow, get yourself ready for tomorrow. And
it's a challenge.
It was really challenging. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, so let me see. I went to the Ezra Institute, Bible Institute, which was only on Saturdays, graduated from that. Then I said, okay, what else do I do? Then that's when I joined Newburgh Theological Seminary and School of the Bible, because it was a better fit for me.
But being a pastor and being involved in the community, helping people out should be very rewarding. Mm-hmm. But yourself, during your tenure as a pastor, what experience have you made that will stay with you forever?
I have to say that if God does not call you to be a pastor, then don't be. Mm-hmm. It's a very difficult job because you're dealing with people.